folks, and welcome back to this week's video. And this is the third and final episode of a three-part special all about One Life Left 2022, an amazing gaming festival held here in the city of Norwich. And it was an amazing weekend, and the finale was all about Wi-Fi Wars, and it was an incredible way to end 2 amazing days of video game action. Now, hit the music.
Kick us! Video games world trips!
Even before OLL 22, I knew a little tiny bit about Wi-Fi Wars. I knew the people who made it had been a part of making Go 8-Bit, which is a comedy kind of game show a few years ago on Dave, which was absolutely amazing, and it's an absolute crime that it got cancelled, so I knew we were going to be in for a treat. But I had no idea how amazing Wi-Fi Wars was going to be, and I just want to share it with all of you folks, because it is something that not enough people know about, and I really want to scream it from the rooftops. But before I tell you how incredibly amazing Wi-Fi Wars was and why you need it in your life, I also want to remind you folks at home to subscribe to the channel. I put new videos out every Saturday live at 5, as well as bonus videos throughout the week, and as well as live streams. I really want you folks to come along for the ride, so please hit that subscribe button and join me here every Saturday live at 5. Now, on to the Wi-Fi Wars. So you might be wondering what Wi-Fi Wars is. Well, Wi-Fi Wars is a live comedy game show where you play along. Log in with your smartphone or tablet and complete a range of games, quizzes and challenges. It's hosted by comedian and regular video games commentator Steve McNeil, who was a team captain on Dara Briain's Go 8-Bit and is a regular host on TV's Video Game Nation. The show is performed as part of Royal Institution's 2015 summer programme after Steve and Rob Sedgebeer's appearance on the 2014 BBC Christmas Lectures. In 2016 they returned with a new show at which they broke the Guinness World Record for most people playing a single game of Pong, with 286 people playing along at the same time. As you can tell, audience participation is a massive part of the game, and I can tell you now, everyone was absolutely loving it. As I said then, Wi-Fi Wars is played using your mobile device using an infrared system where everyone is playing at the same time. On this evening there was about 100 people playing, so we all sat around tables getting super excited for the first game to start. We started off with an absolute classic, which was Pong. So basically we had the red and the blue team, and each team controlled their side. Basically the little bumper would move depending on which way people voted the most, and I have never seen such a tense game of Pong. This got incredibly insane quickly. It was so cool how there's such a wide range of games. So one of the next games we played was this whack-a-mole game, and it looked super simple, but trust me, you get 100 people in a room playing whack-a-mole and it gets intense very, very quickly, as this got quick. And it was such a simple but effective game to play using your mobile device. Like, I've never seen so many people excited by whack-a-mole. It's absolutely incredible. There was also some amazing classic arcade games to play along to, which have been given the Wi-Fi Wars treatment. So, you know, this is a totally different way of playing these games, one of which was Defender, and this just worked so well. You know, you take these kind of classic old school arcade games, put them onto your mobile phones and make them competitive against like another team. It is just an absolute recipe for, it's just so much fun, and it just controlled so well. This was definitely one of the highlights for me of the evening. Of course, you cannot talk about classic arcade games without having Pac-Man, and this was one of my favourite games of the night. And you know, everyone loves Pac-Man. You can be like a 16 to 60-year-old gamer and you will still love Pac-Man. It's just one of those games, it just never gets old, and playing it at Wi-Fi Wars was absolutely fantastic, and it got very, very competitive. The reason it was so competitive is because all the scores all across the evening were tracked. You weren't just playing as part of a team, you were playing as the individual, and everyone's names could be up on that board if you got a high enough score. There was of course some games you probably wouldn't expect to be playing on your mobile, one of which was Track and Field. And this one very nearly broke my phone screen. You literally have to tap the left and right foot as fast as you physically could. The tables were rattling. You could hear the sound of phones cracking. This one was super, super fun. But it wasn't just classic arcade games, there was also awesome puzzle games like this game Eliminate, which looks super simple, but when you are put under a timer and competing against other people and trying to win the game for your team, this gets pretty intense pretty quickly. So you can see on the right here is what I could see on my mobile phone screen, and it just shows you how well implemented this game was. It worked so incredibly well. Like, it was tense though. That is the thing you don't get from these videos. The intensity of these games was rife. But by far the most intense game of them all was Enigma, and on the level this looked super simple. All you had to do was put a code into a keypad, but this was anything but simple. There was so many distractions, and every round the people who got it wrong were shown on the board. So this one was super tense because it was last man standing. So whoever was the last person standing on their team won the entire game for their team. And it just got harder and harder. Like, the host was distracting people. He would say, put it in forwards, and it'd actually say on the screen to put it in backwards. In the end, it came down to 2 people, 1 on each team, and you could have heard a pin drop in the room. It was so incredibly stressful, but yeah, for such a simple premise, this game was absolutely incredible. You know, everyone was working together, the mood was super tense, definitely one of the highlights of the show for me. Yeah, it looks simple, but trust me, this was an absolute monster of a game, and definitely one of my highlights of the evening.
The next game you're all going to play, Ski HD.
They may have joked about the graphics of this game, but it's actually amazing what they could do at Wi-Fi Wars. You know, having 100 people playing this game at the same time was incredibly impressive. And the thing is, it's such a simple game, but it's just so effective and it just works so well. Any of these games could have been absolutely ruined if the controls had not been super tight and responsive. You know, you're working with 100 phones working together at the same time. Just the technical expertise to put this together is absolutely mind-boggling.
But this one we wanted to put in because it's a different sort, and it's one of my favourites. It's a game we call Tower Topper.
Another game that absolutely blew me away was Tower Topper. This thing was such an amazing use of graphics and the technology. It looked absolutely incredible and it played absolutely incredible. With a game like this, you're playing on a mobile, sometimes the controls can absolutely let it down, and I can tell you now, they did not. But the one thing that did let it down was myself, because I am notoriously terrible at these kind of games. So please do not take my playing as kind of a bad on the developers. It's because I suck at these. But yeah, this was a really fun game. Just absolutely unbelievable I can get this running in the kind of Wi-Fi Wars game. But yeah, absolutely amazing. Tons of fun. We were coming up to the end of the night and the scores were super tight and it was still anyone's game, but as we went into the final game, if you think this has been impressive so far, trust me, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Genuinely, when this show started, I mean nearly 10 years ago now, Rob had Pong, which is just a fun, working with about 6 people. Since then, he made Pong more. We broke the Guinness World Record for most people to play a single game of Pong at the Royal Institution, whereas, yeah, of course you got a fat with that. But that's still the most simple thing he's done since he's beamed games to your phones. We've done this in arenas with thousands of people playing simultaneously. It's an incredible achievement. But the next thing is by far the most impressive thing he's made, because without installing anything, any device, any browser, any operating system, and we've not tried it for over 2 years, so we don't know if it's going to work. Rob is now going to get you all to play a 3D first-person shooter against everybody else. Who here is familiar with a game called Doom? It's not Doom, you can't afford it, but it's very similar. It's a game Rob calls Boom.
That's right, you heard it correct, folks. For the final game of the night, we were playing essentially Doom, a 100-player multiplayer game. All against all. It was absolute carnage. You could see on the screen where everyone was spawning in, dying, and just fighting to the death. It was absolutely incredible. Definitely the highlight of the night for me. As I said, going into that final game, it was all to play for, but I think you'll be proud of me to say that my team, the red team, did in fact come out on top. I may not have put in the best performance of my gaming career, but, you know, it was such an incredible performance, and I am quite proud of my friend Peritus, who did manage to become in the top 10 and get on that coveted top 10 leaderboard.
To OLL for
All in all, it was an absolutely amazing experience. I didn't really know what to expect going into it, and this just blew me away. It surpassed all my expectations, and seriously, I'm telling you, if you get the chance, play along with this. If you can go in person, it's amazing, but I know they do games on Twitch and on YouTube, so just make sure you are a part of it. It was absolutely incredible. I cannot recommend it enough, and I've already looked online to see when the next one is in my area, and I can tell you what, I will be travelling onto it. It was quite an emotional ending though, as that did mean it was the end of OLL 22 and the end of an amazing weekend of gaming and game-related awesomeness. It was absolutely fantastic. It was just such a good way to end what was a perfect weekend of video game amazement. And yeah, I cannot wait to do it again next year, and I cannot wait to visit Wi-Fi Wars again. So now you know all about Wi-Fi Wars, and trust me, you do not want to miss it. If it is ever in your area, even if you have to travel, you should go along. It is absolutely amazing. It is one of the most fun events I've had for so long. So yeah, check their website, keep an eye on when they're coming to your area, and go. You will not regret it. Even if you are just a casual fan of video games, it is an amazing experience. Definitely one you don't want to miss. There we have it then, folks. That is the third and final episode of our 3-part special about OLL 22. And it was an absolutely amazing 2 days. Everyone involved absolutely smashed it. It was one of the best weekends I have had in so long. And I just hope it comes back next year. It was absolutely amazing. I'm sure it's even going to be bigger and better next year. Thank you for watching. If you've missed any of my previous episodes about the gaming festival, please go back and watch them. Please remember to like this video, it really helps the channel. Subscribe as I put new videos out every Saturday live at 5, as well as bonus content I don't want any of you folks missing. And as always, thanks for watching and keep playing the game. See you soon.